All right, you guys. So it looks like we may be having a problem right here.
Houston, we have a problem.
As a matter of fact, we do have a problem. Now, this specific problem doesn't really come too often in my case. Could it be more prominent in other traders? In fact, the frequency in which this problem comes when it comes to trading, it could tell you a lot as to where you are as a trader. It could tell you if you're a good trader or a bad trader, pretty much. So to give you guys some context, I've been trading for about, or at least what I consider professional trading, for about a year and a half now, trading 3 different strategies throughout that time. Initially, I was trading a trend breakout strategy, trading the big market caps. We're talking about Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft, all those big companies. And then I moved on to trading pretty much the same thing, trading breakouts, although I was mainly focused on penny stocks. So stocks that were going through breakouts, I'd be there. Now I'm currently trading a trend following system, which essentially I wait for pullbacks into the moving average, the 20 moving average to be specific, and I wait for a reversal candle to form, and then I go in right there. So why have I been changing systems, you may be asking, which is a good question. The first system that I started trading, which was the trend breakout system, it was a little bit more intuitive. It required more intuition, more discretion, I should say, when it came to my stop losses, when it came to my entries, and when it came to my targets as well. For example, when it came to my second strategy, I actually traded elephant candles, so something similar to this candle right here. I entered at the close of this candle, and I pretty much put my stop loss at the midpoint. So stop loss was automatically at the midpoint. Target was 75% from the close of this candle. That's pretty much it. Like, you could understand what I mean when I say that these numbers are just arbitrage. 75% is like nobody. The market does not care about your 75%. The market does not care about your 50% stop loss from this candle right here. So the reason why I like this more recent strategy here is because I'm using ATR. So ATRs is pretty much the average true range of a specific stock. For example, if the ATR of this stock was $3, that means that this stock is expected to move $3 every single day, or at least on average, it's expected to have a $3 move. So that's by no means is that an arbitrage number. That's a real solid number that everyone knows about. The ATR, that's a very good, useful tool to calculate your stop loss, your targets, and just as important, the adding level. So for example here, the first adding point is 0.75 ATR. The second one is 1.25 ATR. And as I add, I'm required to move up my stop loss, and just keep that in mind because that's going to be a little important as we discuss things in this video here. So that's why I feel really confident with this more newer recent strategy, because it allows me to add to my trades, to add to the winners, while at the same time moving up my stop loss, because the moment that I add to the trade, it becomes a little more riskier. So it makes complete sense for me to move up my stop loss and protect myself a little bit more, eliminating some of that added risk that I already did by adding to the trade. So this trade is a little bit more complicated, and for that reason alone, I like it. Not only do I like it, but I think it's far superior than the other two strategies. It gives me the opportunity to add. I'm not using just arbitrage numbers out there, and everything just mathematically makes sense in my opinion. So with that context in mind, what exactly is the problem? Now, the problem isn't too harsh, simply because I've taken precautions for this specific reason, that this problem always could emerge. We're human beings, these problems happen. So for that reason alone, it's not too big of a deal, but it could easily become a big deal. I'm just going to get straight to the point. The problem is I refused to take a loss. If we look at this current stock here, which is A, the ticker symbol A, if we look closely here, you'll see that we entered on this specific little reversal candle, which was a really nice candle, little hammer candle right here. The next day we had a green bar, pretty much did nothing. But this is where the interesting part comes in, and this is where my mistake comes in. We had an aggressive green candle here due to earnings. So this company reported their earnings. Apparently they were good. We moved up way beyond our first adding point, which is this first white line, and well beyond the second adding point, to the point where we actually hit our target. Now, unfortunately, in this case, we actually didn't get to sell, because if we look at the 5-minute time frame here, let's take a deeper dive, because, well, that's just simply what it requires us. As a matter of fact, I think we could even remove the moving averages just to get a better picture on what exactly was going on. I'll explain to you guys my psychology behind this and the reason why I simply just couldn't sell. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we could see the after hours. So I'm going to have to bring that in, because all this happened in the after hours of yesterday. All right, here we go. So this is where the interesting part happened right here. This was yesterday. Actually, this was 2 days ago. I'm over here talking about yesterday. Yesterday, I was ignoring this trade simply because I felt bad about showing you guys. But actually, on the Discord, it was looking good. I'm not going to lie, on the Discord, if I come to the chat over here, you'll see that yesterday I uploaded this. Everything is looking good. We're up like literally $50 on this specific trade. And then on the other one, we're up $70, which in fact, the other one is actually in a similar situation. I'm refusing to take a loss right now. But I'll make sure 100% at the end of this video to just cut that loss in front of you guys, while also explaining to you guys some advice that I have in the case if you find yourself in this case right here. And it's not just about taking a loss, it's about something deeper. But yeah, here is essentially the 2 days after we entered the trade here. As a matter of fact, this is where they reported earnings here. So in the after hours, it all happened in the after hours. We had a massive move, probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5% move right here with this massive candle. I decided to throw out an order out there so I could get filled. It took like 30 minutes to get filled with all this movement happening right here. And we actually did get filled, but I didn't move on my stop loss. So this is actually the very first initial stop loss right here. This red line that you're looking at over here, which if we go back to the daily time frame here, you'll see that it's pretty low over here. Like look at where the stop loss is at. It's really low actually. But going back to the 5 minute, and I promise I'm going to try to make this quick. I understand that this could take a little bit of time to explain, but just bear with me here. You'll get to hear some good advice at the end of this video. But yeah, the stock just completely pushed up above here, blowing through all the first ad, the second ad, and even my target. But of course, I didn't get filled right there. So it took some time to get filled. I think it was within these 2 candles that I got filled on the first ad and on the second ad. And just keep in mind that the moment that I add in this first adding point, I'm supposed to move up my stop loss to break even. And the moment that I add on the second adding point, I'm supposed to move up my stop loss to this white line. So at this point right now, the stop loss is supposed to be at this white line right now. And obviously the price is well down here already, almost reaching the initial stop loss here. So you can see why this is a problem at this point. So yeah, as soon as the market opened the next day, which was yesterday, we got this candle here, pretty weird candle, which actually did not hit my my sell order over here, or I should say the initial take profit, simply because it just happened too quick. I think, I don't know, it literally happened in the first minute though, so I refuse to take a loss right there. And as a matter of fact, within that 5 minute candle right there, we actually pulled back to the actual stop loss. So keep in mind that my stop loss needs to be at this point right here. And within that 5 minutes, since it didn't hit my target, I kind of got mad and I saw it hit the stop loss, the actual stop loss, but I refused to take my loss simply because, well, I couldn't bear with the fact that my order didn't get filled right here. It's that simple. It just all comes down to your ego at this point. My target didn't get filled, and within those 5 minutes, my stop loss got hit. And keep in mind that this is barely when the market opened, and I was really upset about that situation. So I decided to just wait it out. You know, we got a nice little candle here, and I thought maybe we could push back up here, but the whole day we pretty much just went sideways. Near the end of the day, we got a little push. I was thinking maybe tomorrow it'll be a good day, which brings me to today. The market just dropped. The stock is down nearly 3% right now. We're nearing our stop loss, the original stop loss, the very original stop loss, knowing that the stop loss needs to be at this white line right now. As a matter of fact, we're well below that, so things are not looking good. I'm just going to cancel this order out here, go back to the daily time frame here, and you'll get to see what everything happened over here. So what I could have done, to be honest, is just honestly taking my loss, even right after knowing the fact that my initial target order did not get filled. Just take my loss. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't even have been a loss. It would have been like a $10-$20 profit at that point. So if we look close, you'll see that my stop loss should have been at this white line, and my current position is right here, so it's a little bit under it. We would have profited probably like 20 bucks at this point, since we have like 19 shares, but yet I decided to just keep on holding it. And to that, I'm just gonna say let's close this trade right now for you guys. So the good thing is this is a simulated account. If you can see here, we're trading a simulated account, meaning that this money is not real money, and that's the good thing, as a matter of fact. And that's actually the advice that I want to give you guys. If you're trading a real live account and you still don't know the ins and outs of your strategy and even your mind, the way your mind works, then what are you even doing with your system? What are you even doing with your money? You have no idea how your system works, yet you're still putting money on the line. It just simply doesn't make sense for me to put my money into something that I have no idea how it works. My goal has been to trade roughly 30 to 40 trades, and if I'm profitable in those trades using the system, then only and only then does it make sense for me to add money to the real money to the strategy. But as of right now, I've only taken like, I think 15, 20 trades, I'm not even entirely sure, using this system. And so far, after these losses, I'll probably be at break even. So that already tells me that there's something going on and I should work on that. So that's number one. At this point, whether it's psychological or something technical, and in this case, in fact, it's psychological, since I refuse to take my loss. And like I mentioned earlier, this doesn't happen often. I've taken roughly 100 trades, and it's probably happened like two or three times, give or take. 2 or 3 times of not refusing to take your loss. That's pretty damn good if you ask me, especially if you're taking precautions. Like, I'm going to go over one specific precaution, but this is one precaution right here. Trading a simulated account until you can prove to yourself that you're able to go 100, 200, 300 trades without ignoring your stop losses. If you could do that, there's another precaution that I'm going to go over right after I take this loss right here. All right, so there we go. We just took the loss. I don't know how much I lost, but I'll definitely update the Discord with that shortly when I finish this video. But if I'm not mistaken, I probably lost like $50 right there. And that actually brings me to the second point that I want to make. The amount of money that I was risking within these trades was only 1%. So $50 in a $5,000 account. That's pretty much all I was risking. How do you get rid of this? All right, there it is. Oh, here it is. Actually, as a matter of fact, this is the other trade that I was talking about. So this is the other trade right here that I'm in the exact same situation. Slightly different variants, but obviously, but this one's a little bit different in the fact that I only added once simply because I didn't have enough capital to add twice. But I refuse to take my loss. If we go back to the 5-minute time from here, you'll see that a similar predicament happened. So yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, we actually managed to hit our first target here. Price pulled back to our stop loss, refused to take my loss for whatever reason. The next day, things were looking good. We actually hit our second adding point, which we didn't add. Like I mentioned, we had no capital to add. But at this point, even if we didn't add, we should have moved up our stop loss and pretended like we actually did add it. So just following your rules, we should have moved up our stop loss to this point right here. And you can see that obviously the price actually hit that level of our stop loss. We should have just got out right here. And again, we would have walked out with some profit. As you can see here, my position is way down here, which is like $4 above. So with 9 shares, that would have been like $30 profit. But if we look over here to the right, you'll see that price just tanked today. And it has turned out to be a, let's see, how do you bring that thing back? I had a, all right, so if we take a look here, you'll see that the open P&L is only $51. We have a 5K account, so that means that $50 is only 1% of my account. Just keep that in mind. That's the precaution that I've been taking on every single trade that I take every day. Only risking 1% of my account, which is hardly anything. It leaves room for mistakes like this, even though you shouldn't even be having these mistakes in the first place, but they happen. They'll come every now and then, especially if you're having a bad day or a bad week, whatever the reason may be. They'll be coming more often than you might be thinking. Now, if you're a beginner, they'll be coming way more often than you might be thinking, actually. But if you're a good trader out there, they'll be coming every now and then. And if you're not prepared to take loss, if you're heavy on that specific trade, then it could cost you a lot of money. But if you're only risking 1% on your trades, then it'll hardly be a dent in your account. Those are the precautions that I'm taking. First of all, I'm trading a simulated account simply because I don't fully understand my psychology yet, and I also don't fully understand the trading system that I'm running. So I'm just gonna end it at that. I took 2 losses right now. I gotta go give the update here on the Discord channel here. And if you're interested on the system that I'm running, feel free to join the Discord. Take the strategy here. By no means is it a profitable strategy yet, but it is definitely one that could keep you grounded into staying consistent. Especially if you follow the rules, you'll find it very, very hard for you to lose money. As a matter of fact, you'll probably just break even. But you can make additions as you like. You can make adjustments, and maybe, just maybe, you'll become a profitable trader. I do send out a watch list here every single day at around 12:30, 12 o'clock. Send out pretty good setups. For example, this one, the FIVN. Let's take a look at FIVN right now, how it's performing. Yeah, pretty nice day right after that. Reversal bar right here. We actually moved up like, I don't know, this is probably like a 6% move. Today we're up like 0.26, so pretty good move right here. Unfortunately, you'll have some cases like today where you have a psychological problem and you refuse to take your loss. And keep in mind that both of these two right here should have been winners. Keep in mind that if I would have respected my rules, I would have profited like 20 from this A trade, like another 20 like another 30 from the RVMD trade. So keep that in mind. This should not have happened, and these two should not have been losing trades. That reminds me, actually, I should be closing this right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it early. Take my loss, $50 loss. Again, it's only 1% of my account, so that's definitely not a big deal at all. But there it is. We're currently flat right now on my account. Yeah, just take my advice out there. Trade a simulated account until you know exactly how your system works, until you know exactly how your psychology works relative to the system, and only risk 1%. And the moment you add to your trade, keep in mind that you're adding more risk to that trade. Therefore, you should move up your stop loss and actually adhere to your stop loss. So those are the 2 points. Risk only 1%. Respect your stop loss, of course. Everyone knows that one. But the 1% rule is pretty important. And secondly, trade a simulated account until you fully understand the system and you fully understand your psychology relative to that system. So I'm going to end it right there. I'll probably make an update video tomorrow, if not on Monday. Whatever the case may be wary out there, you guys. This market over here is the market in general is a very dangerous place. And if you're not prepared to fight the battle, if you come to the battlegrounds with a dull knife, then you probably won't succeed at all. But I think, in my opinion, the system that I'm running here is actually a pretty decent knife to be bringing into the battle here with some shield protection to keep you guys from blowing up your account. So I'm gonna leave it at that, you guys. It was nice talking to you guys. It was a very interesting morning. It is currently 8:25 right now, so it's pretty early in the morning still. Obviously, when I woke up and saw this, I was a little bit devastated. Really just disappointed in myself that I couldn't come to take my losses. As a matter of fact, I think what disappointed me the most was knowing that if I would have just respected my loss, I probably still would have gone out with like a $50 profit, give or take, on both trades, which is pretty good. But my ego got to me and I refused to take my loss, and I'm paying the price for it. So what I'm going to be doing in the future is just focusing on one trade at a time. I'm definitely not going to take 2 trades anymore. 1 trade is definitely more than enough until I build up the confidence again and prove to myself that I'm capable of taking a loss. As a matter of fact, I hope that the next trade is a loss. That way it can kind of tell me if I'm ready to take losses or not. But I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Again, if you're interested in the strategy, go ahead and join it. It'll definitely keep you from blowing up your account, since you're only risking 1%. There is no reason for you to blow up your account if you're only risking 1%. So with that in mind, I do send out the watch list as well. So feel free to join. Everything's completely for free. The whole point of this channel is to spread good information out there, and if it helps you guys out for free, then why not, So I'll leave it at that, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If not, leave any advice down below, leave any comments. I'll be sure to get to them, and stay focused, you guys. I'll see you guys next week.